Hello YouTube. So today's Slater. Hello YouTube. Today's video we are doing an assumptions tag video. So this has been something that's been trending across social media lately, and I'm usually not one to do like fad trendy YouTube videos. However, I got a lot of requests to do this, which I was kind of shocked. And so I was actually thinking about doing a Q&A, but a lot of people wanted me to do an assumptions video. So I asked y'all on Instagram and YouTube to make an assumption about me, and I would tell y'all if it was true or not. So without further ado, let's just jump into the first assumption, and in no particular order, just reading these off as they come. So here we go. So the first assumption made about me is that I'm ready to get married. I would say yes, but not in the sense of like, okay, I'm ready to get married, like he needs to hurry up and propose to me. I've always been a person that I've never been in a rush to get married. Like even growing up as a little girl, I was never like that little girl that just dreamed about like, oh, I can't wait to get married one day and have this like big fabulous wedding and this big fabulous life with my husband, blah, blah, blah. I've just never had that thought process or that mindset. And I've never been in a rush to get married, and that's probably why like here I am 28 years old and I'm still not married or even engaged. But I can confidently say that yes, I'm ready to get married, but again, I'm in no rush to get married, so if that makes any sense. Next assumption, you're naturally blonde. No, I am not naturally blonde. Although I have been highlighting my hair since like the 7th or 8th grade, so I really don't know what my true natural hair color is anymore. Probably a light brown. Like I was born with like really blonde curly hair, then it turned darker and straight. But I would say at the time I started highlighting it, I was more of like a dark, dirty blonde, light brown. So probably now it's more of like a light brown color. But you can see like natural blonde highlights in my hair or like in my roots when they do grow out. So, but no, I am not naturally a blonde. You are very goal driven. Yes, I would say yes. I have always been a very goal driven person. I don't really know where I get that from, but I am always up to something. I'm always doing something, chasing after some sort of goal, after some sort of challenge. Yes, I'm a very goal-driven person. I just feel purposeless or like lazy or, I don't know, just if I'm not going after something. So yes, I'm a very goal-driven person. Have you ever tried a vegetarian or plant-based diet? No. I have never tried like a full spectrum diet of either one. I have tried like vegan or like plant-based foods and drinks and stuff. Let me tell you, everything that I have tried, even the more popular brands of like plant-based stuff, been disgusting. Like, disgusting. And I'm sorry, but I don't know about the rest of you humans out there, but my God created me an omnivore. As he has designed the human teeth, I have choppers, grinders, and incisors, all which are made perfect for an omnivore diet. So I'm gonna continue to eat meat and vegetables and fruits because, yeah, that's what I like, and that's how God designed me to eat. And I'm probably about to get so much hate from that comment right now. I'm assuming they're asking like, do I have side effects for my bikini competitions, like as in having a bad relationship with food? This is actually really difficult for me to answer because I've always been a foodie at heart. Ask my family, ask my friends, ask my boyfriend. I'm obsessed with food, whether I'm in a bikini competition or out of bikini competition. So I just love food, and I have to practice willpower all the time to like not binge on something, and sometimes that willpower is not the greatest. But I mean, maybe I've gotten a little bit more obsessive over food like from bikini competitions, but again, that's really hard for me to answer because I'm obsessed with food year-round. That's just how my mind works. I come from a family who loves to eat. I have always wondered how I did not become obese growing up because I come from a Southern cooking family where everything is cooked in butter and grease and sugar. And I myself love to cook. I love food. I love the look of it. I love the smell of it. I love the taste of it. So I don't know, that's really hard for me as a food lover to already say that. So I would say for the majority part, no, but possibly. Hope that answers that question. Another assumption, you have never been to Europe. No, I have never been in Europe. I have never been overseas. The only out of the United States I have been to is Mexico, and that was on a cruise. So I don't know if you really even consider that I've been out of the States. But no, I have never been to Europe. I would love to travel to that side of the world someday. Someday. Next assumption. You always have a great attitude and never have a bad day. Okay, newsflash. I'm a human just like everyone out there. So that is completely wrong. I would say for the most part, yes, I have a great attitude overall. I feel like naturally, I'm not a negative person. I'm a pretty positive person at heart. There are some days where I have to have a little bit more convincing to myself, a little bit more prayer time with God to like really bring in that positive attitude. But yeah, I have bad days. We all have bad days. Like I would not be human or I would be lying if I said I never have a bad day. But I would say for the most part, yes, I have a really great attitude about everything in life. I feel like for the most part, I respond to bad days in the best way, but you know, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So yes, I do have a bad day. You're more of an extrovert versus an introvert. This is kind of difficult to answer because I would say for the majority of my life, I have always been an extrovert. I've always been kind of like the social butterfly of the group, and I've always been like very outgoing and very bubbly to an extent, and I still am. Don't get me wrong, I still am. However, I think since becoming a full-time retail pharmacist and being in the public so much and just always being around like people, good and bad people all the time, and constantly like talking and having to like use my brain all the time, like nonstop, that I have really, really come to value my alone time at home. And I just love being at home by myself, away from people now. And I think too as well, because I do work so much, any free time that I do have or any downtime that I do have, I love to just spend time at home, like not interacting with people. And it's so strange because I'm still an extrovert to an extent. If you can get me out of the house, I'm still very much an extrovert. I can talk to anybody, I can make friends with strangers, I can talk to a wall all night and still have a great time. But it's just that fact of like getting me out of the house, because I don't know, I just love my alone time. And I'm also like that person, like once you kind of get me talking, like I can't shut up. I would say I don't have that drive anymore to go out to social outings as much as I used to, just because now I am like a grown-up and I'm tired from work and I just want to be at home alone. The older you've gotten, the smaller your circle of friends have gotten. Yes, I can confidently say that. I've always been a person that's had like a big group of friends, like a wide variety of friends, and friends have come and gone, just like I feel like in most people's lives. But right now, yes, I don't really hang out. I don't hang out with my friends as much anymore, and that's because my really close friends are scattered all over the different states. I've got a best friend that lives in Kansas. I have another one that lives in Atlanta, Georgia. I have another one that lives in South Florida. I have another one that lives right here in Auburn, Alabama. However, she's also a pharmacist as well, and our schedules are just complete like polar opposites of each other, and it makes it really hard for us to hang out. But you know, it's those friends that I really cherish and appreciate and value, the close friends that I do have. And I would much rather have like a handful of really close friends and just have like a huge circle of friends that just didn't really, I guess, you know, add any value to my life or like serve me in any way. So I really love and appreciate the close friends that I do have. But yes, my overall friend circle has gotten smaller. I still have a wide variety of acquaintances and casual friends, but the true friends that I have in my life are very few and very selective, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'm very blessed to have them in my life. You love, this one's funny. You love Slater more than you love Cody. Can I say that that's two different loves? If you were to ask Cody, he would say Slater, but I promise I don't love Slater more than Cody. I don't think. I don't know. That's a really tough one to answer. I'll let Cody answer that one for you. Oh, this one's really sweet. You're just as genuine in person as you are behind the camera. It's really sweet, but these are always these always just make me kind of feel uncomfortable to answer, because then it's like I'm forced to kind of be like a shallow person, like, oh, of course, I'm just as genuine behind the camera as I am in person. Like, then that's just kind of doting on myself, and I don't know. I don't want to be like, yes, this is true, but I'm not going to be like, no, this is not true. I feel like, okay, so my train of thought is, I hope that's what it comes across to people, and I feel like my personality doesn't change on camera as it does in real life. So I would hope that that's what it does convey to people who know me like outside of YouTube, or know that I make these videos, or just hope that like my personality like doesn't change. And I try not to let it change in any sense on the camera. So I don't know how to answer that, but I would say yes. Yes. I feel really awkward in talking about myself and saying that I'm a genuine person. Anyways, we're moving on. That's a little awkward one. Ooh, this one's a little stinger. You regret becoming a pharmacist. This one's a little touchy subject, and I could honestly make a video in itself about this, and I actually think about this all the time, to be honest, and we're gonna get a little deep here for a moment. I don't know if it's that I regret becoming a pharmacist. I think in reality that the place that I'm at right now in pharmacy, as far as my job, I think that has a huge influence on my feelings towards pharmacy and being a pharmacist. And that's what really brings out the negative thoughts of me thinking about, did I really choose the right career path, because I absolutely hate like what I do. And I hate to even say that, but I honestly just think it's just where I'm at right now in my pharmacy career, like the type of pharmacy job that I have right now. It's really impacted me in a negative way as far as like pharmacy, and I just know that because I think about when I first got into pharmacy and where I used to work. I used to work for independent pharmacy, and I absolutely loved it. I loved what I did. And granted, I wasn't a pharmacist then, but I still was in the pharmacist type roles, and I was a pharmacy technician, and I loved my company I worked with. I loved the people I worked with. I loved the customers I served daily, and the patients I worked with. So I know I've been on that really awesome, great side of pharmacy, and that's like what really validated, you know, me becoming a pharmacist. But then again, I just think it has to do with where I am right now in pharmacy. I've just kind of lost my passion for being a pharmacist because of the daily things that I go through in my job right now. And I don't know, I don't think that I regret becoming a pharmacist. I probably just regret taking the job path that I have right now as a pharmacist, if that makes sense. So next assumption, your favorite color is pink. That would be an absolute no. I absolutely hate the color pink and purple, for that matter. My favorite color is blue, as I'm wearing navy right now. But yes, my favorite color is actually blue. You never eat fast food. This is essentially correct. I really don't. I don't ever eat fast food. Very rarely do I ever eat fast food. And it's usually because I'm influenced by Cody or like my friends. And I usually, if I do eat fast food, I try to find like the healthiest option that there is. But for the majority part, no, I never really eat fast food. I never really have eaten fast food. So I would say that, yeah, that's really it. I just don't have a desire to eat fast food. I just never have. It's just not my thing. I assume that you stay motivated for the gym all the time. I'm sorry if that comes across to you that I am always 100% motivated to go to the gym, but this is not the case. I've talked a lot about this in my videos before. And I don't always have the motivation, but what does get me to the gym a majority of the time is just having discipline. But no, I lose motivation all the time. And let me tell you, this past week has really been one of my biggest, just unmotivating weeks to go to gym I have ever had. And I would be ashamed to say that I have only gone to the gym 2 times this week out of the past 7 days, which is very unlike me. And that is because I have had 0 motivation to go to the gym. So no, I am not always motivated to go to the gym. You have always been fit, quotations. Define your definition of fit. Everyone will have their, you know, their personal definition of that. I can say I have always been athletic. We'll keep it at that. I have always played sports. I was a cheerleader, I was a dancer, I played competitive sports. I've always been athletic and had an athletic body shape, if you will. However, I have not always eaten healthy. I did not grow up necessarily eating healthy or really knowing how to eat healthy, and I really didn't start eating healthy or learning about it until my college years. So, your definition of always being fit, I've always been athletic, we'll keep it at that, but as overall fit, that's kind of like arbitrary, I don't know. You never drink alcohol. This is not true, although I'm not a big alcohol drinker anymore. I had my fair share of wild days in high school, I will admit that. I was definitely a party animal in high school and in my younger years in undergrad, but the older I've gotten, I just really honestly do not care to drink anymore. I really don't. It has to be like a special occasion, and I've got to be in the mood for it. You know, I just don't care to just have that feeling of getting drunk or being hungover anymore, as most of the time I have something going on the next day that I need to feel 100% for, whether it's going to the gym or whether it's going to work, and I just don't care to have that feeling anymore. I feel like I've just gained a lot more responsibility underneath my belt that it just doesn't serve me to get drunk anymore, if that makes sense. Now, don't get me wrong, I love like my glass of wine at night or the occasional beer if we go to dinner or something like that. But as far as like drinking all the time or like wanting or having that feeling like I have to drink to have a good time at a party, that's definitely not the case. There's been many times now in my life that I go to a party and I'm just the designated DD because everyone knows that Kelsey's probably not going to drink, and I'm okay with that. I can have a great time without drinking any alcohol. You were the popular girl in high school. Again, that's kind of one of those things that like I'm talking about myself and I sound like really shallow, but I would say yes, but I went to a really small high school. Like we had like 500 students K through 12, okay? And the majority of us grew up with each other since we were in diapers. I would say yes though. I was a cheerleader, like I played sports. So I was in with the it crowd, or like what was considered for sure like the popular like pretty girls, I guess, of the school. I would say yes, but I was also kind of like that mediator person that like I was friends with everybody. I wasn't very cliquey. I was friends with the popular crowd, I was friends with the nerdy crowd, or like just the weirdos in our school, and just to be very blunt, you know, because again, like half of them like I grew up with, and I just didn't ever want to be that person that came across as like I was stuck up or too good to be friends or to be nice to anybody, and I really hope that I never did come across that way. I'm sure that there were times in my life in high school or like junior high that I did come across that way, but for the majority of part, I was always friends with like, I was always everybody's friend, and I tried to be, so yes, I would guess I would consider myself, I was in with the popular crowd. You've always been a tomboy all your life. That is definitely the truth. So I have an older sister, and we have always told people that we were the two sons that my daddy never had. So we definitely grew up in the country on a farm. We did everything that your typical boys would do growing up on a farm, or just boys would do in life, and there wasn't a whole lot of girly things that I did. I never played with like Barbies or dolls or anything like that. I was definitely very much a tomboy. I always wanted to be outside in the mud, in the dirt. I had Tonka trucks growing up and dinosaurs. Like I was the little sister that tore the Barbie dolls' heads off my older sisters, you know, Barbie dolls and things like that. And I used to run around with my shirt off all the time because that's what the other boys did, so like I could do that, right? Yes, I definitely was a tomboy growing up. You're a true Southern belle and country girl. I would say yes, although now I do live in the city. Auburn, Alabama is a small rural type city. I did grow up out in the middle of nowhere, like no one even knows where La Grande, Alabama is. It's not even on the map, try to Google it. But it is out in the middle of nowhere. I grew up in the country, you know, on a farm. I had all kinds of animals growing up. I knew nothing different than like trucks and cowboy boots and, you know, mud riding and going to bonfires and hunting. Like that's what I grew up with. That was my lifestyle. But now here I am living in Auburn, Alabama, and I live in a neighborhood. We don't live on land anymore. I do still drive a truck, and I do still wear my cowboy boots and my plaid button-up shirts, which I absolutely love and adore. And I'm still a country girl at heart. And it's one of those things like, yes, I may live in this city now. Auburn to me is not really like a true like city like what I think of, or probably what some people think of, because it still has like country parts to it. It's just a small town, I would say. But I've really gotten used to the convenience of living in town. Like my grocery store is right across the street, work is right down the road, my gym is right down the road. I've really gotten used to the convenience of living in this city that it would be really hard to go back to live in the country, but ultimately that's what I would love to do. But yeah, I would say for the most part, I'm still a country girl at heart, don't get me wrong. However, I do live in the city. But you know what they say, you can take the girl out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the girl. You and Cody never fight. I would say for the majority part, this is true. Don't get me wrong, we've had our fair shares of like true fights, but for our everyday life, no, we really honestly never fight. We're, at the most, we get on each other's nerves, and there's like some pet peeves that we may have about one another that may lead to like a little bit of like kind of like a little bickering fight at each other, but I wouldn't even consider it a fight. Sometimes we just kind of bicker at each other, but usually that will last like a couple of minutes, and then like we're fine. We're like back to joking and picking on each other like we normally do. But for the majority part, no, we rarely fight. I am not a fighter at all. He's definitely more of a fighter than I am, but I am not. I hate controversy, and I am not a fighter. But yeah, for the most part, we honestly don't fight. And I hate to sound like that couple that's like, oh, we never fight, we have like the perfect relationship. Like, that's not really the case at all. But just know that we truly just don't have like these big like I hate you, I'm screaming and just yelling at the top of my lungs type fight. We just have more of like, we just get on each other's nerves sometimes, if that makes sense. The last but not least of this long assumptions video is, you consider yourself Instagram or YouTube famous. And this is kind of one of those awkward assumptions about myself. And I don't ever know how to respond to that, because I don't see myself being Instagram or YouTube famous. But I really do appreciate and enjoy when people do come up to me. And it really just kind of like validates that like, hey, maybe I am making a difference in someone's life, or I'm being like a positive influence in someone's life. So I really do appreciate that. But just know that if I come across as being like really awkward when you first meet me, it's because like it still throws me off when people are like, oh my god, it's Kelsey Douglas. And I'm just like, yes, it's me. Like, I'm just a normal old regular Joe, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed all the assumptions that people made about me and me telling you if they were true or not. Maybe you learned a little bit more about me that you didn't already know. So we're gonna go ahead and close out this video because it's probably like over 30 minutes long now. And I just wanna say thank you for participating and for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye y'all.